Sorry, I didn't understand what you said about Zhuhai. What did you say?
Oh, I'm just going back on their boat, and I think it'll be really fun.
Oh, you think oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I won't get to spend a lot of time with them because it's only a couple days, but I like that team, and I think it's going to be fun to be with them again.
I'm Meredith Rogers, and I'm one of the onboard reporters. The role of an onboard reporter is doing filmmaking and photo, also the editing, producing onboard a sailing vessel. In the Clipper world, I'm placed on each team for a different race to just document their story and see how the race unfolds for them. The boat I'm going on to Zhuhai is Team Zhuhai, which is really exciting. And I've been on their boat. I spent the entirety of race 2 on leg 1 with them. So I was on their boat for about a month. And so I'm actually pretty excited to go back and continue documenting some of their stories, especially now that we're halfway around the world. I think getting to switch boats is the most amazing parts of the race, and I feel so lucky. You have a friend everywhere. And then it's also super overwhelming, I think, because a lot of the teams get to stick together and they are with each other the entire race, where me and the other onboard reporters kind of switch homes every race. This has become my new normal, checking into a hotel for a week or so, packing up all my things, getting back on a boat, which is usually with a whole new group of people. It's also been one of the biggest challenges, is to know that when you get on that boat, your job is to get to know someone, and your job is to tell their story, and then you're gonna leave. Yeah, this one, sailing with Zhuhai into Zhuhai, is a really special leg. I think it's gonna be it's always so much fun to get into a home port with the home team. I think that the competitiveness and the drive to succeed and go for first is always much higher on these home port legs with the home team. It would be amazing if they won. Story-wise, for my job, it would make it quite easy and fun. But I think for them as well, to get a first place into their home port would be huge. So I hope that happens. So I had that realization on race 3, and now I'm heading into race 8. And a lot of people have asked me what my favorite part of the job is. And I can confidently say it's the people. Hey, I don't think we've met.
No, I'm Nick.
I'm Meredith. Nice to meet you.
Ah, yeah.
I'm going to be the OVR.
I've heard the name many times.
Home sweet home.
The Clipper race is a race of 11 boats that set out to go around the world for 11 months. We set off in the UK and we go all around the world, east ways, and 11 months later we're back.
The race is 40,000 miles, split up into 14 separate races.
They're sailed by non-professionals, people from all walks of life, some with previous sailing experience, some with not. There's 2 professional sailors on board to make sure that everything runs smoothly and safely.
That's the beauty of Clipper. They've created this system of crossing the toughest oceans of the world safer.
It really isn't a cruise. It's working all day, every day, from when we leave to when we arrive. They'll be short of sleep, they'll be tired, they'll be wet, they'll be cold, they'll be uncomfortable, and they'll be loving every minute of it.
It brings out the best in people. It really starts to teach you about yourself.
I think a lot of people, when they start off, really have no idea what they're undertaking.
I think that realization that once the boat has sailed, you cannot pull out.
Every single one of them is looking for an adventure in their own right, and every single one of them will get it as well.
It offers people that opportunity to do it as safely as possible, and to really sort of push themselves and to sort of go to places on the planet that you would never get to.
There are definitely moments when you are out there and you're asking, why am I doing this?
That's what people want. That's why people have signed up for it. They haven't signed up for champagne sailing.
Professional or non-professional, the same conditions are waiting for you out there. Something that you can't quite understand till you're there, just what it's like.
At some points in this race, we're closer to the people in the International Space Station than we are to anyone else on the planet.
Helicopter rescue is not a feasible option. We can't get medical help out there.
The sea is still just as dangerous as it's ever been. And you're going to have to learn to live with and respect it, because it doesn't give a damn about you.
Guys, obviously we're coming into Zhuhai, so it is the big one. It is the home port. It's going to be a very short, sharp leg, about 600 nautical miles, or 4 to 5 days. I'm not going to say we're going to go crazy and do anything particularly different, because what we've been doing has kind of worked quite well so far. It's 5th podium in a row, this one. So we've got a good momentum and a good thing sort of going. So I don't want things to change massively.
We've been told that we were all aware it's going to be a big race, so all crew were prepared that it's going to be okay if we don't sleep at all. We're going to be on deck, all hands, just do all the sail changes. We just prepare for it, right? So everybody has a high hope.
It's 4 days, so we can really afford to sort of push ourselves hard, and it's kind of one of those ones, this isn't a long race, so if we have the wrong sail up, even for any amount of time, it's going to cost us. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, essentially we had a fantastic start to the race, and we were super fast out the blocks, and we were making good decisions, and we managed to get a reasonably comfortable lead on the other boats. At the head of the pack, which is always nice, we always like that. Good start's always really important, particularly in a race this short. We're racing, all the way to Zhuhai now, so it'll be fantastic to finally go to Zhuhai. Really excited to finally get to our home port.
So I think, although the beginning of the race was exciting, and probably I'll look back at it being a really big part of my life, it was quite difficult for me to settle into this new role and into this new rhythm that was now going to become my life for the next year. I think I'd hoped that I'd get on the boat and I'd settle into my role, because it was my job. While in my head, I was going through everything that they were going through. I had never done a race before. I had never done a race start. I had never been on a boat for longer than maybe 4 days at that point. And I'd never been in the watch system, and everything was new for me. And I think I often have to remind myself of that. I'm in an environment that's working against me. That not only is it working against everyone as a crew, but it's also, for the practical part of my job, it's working against every part of my equipment. I am in, if you could have a space where you shouldn't bring a camera, it would be this boat. And once I got used to not only living but working in this crazy environment, that's when I finally had the space mentally to understand that even though we might all be here for different reasons, that we come from all kinds of different backgrounds and cultures and generations, but at the end of the day, each and every one of us is going through exactly the same journey, both physically and especially emotionally. And that's when it all clicked into place for me.
It would mean a lot to us to get a first place on this race. It's obviously it's been on our mind a lot since the first podium finish, and lots of time have put in to build a team to where we are now, and then we feel like we earned it.
Someday, bright day, will conquer us. Some days, dark face, will be about.
My name is Qingdao. I am sailing around the world with Clipper Race on Team Zhuhai. I was born in a city called Dalian in China, moved to the UK at the age of 16 and lived there ever since. I was living a life like many people my age. I had a steady job, a steady life, a lovely group of friends, a loving family, and getting emotional just talking about it, but I wasn't happy. And I didn't know why. I think there were just this fire inside of me, wanting to be somewhere else. Wanting to explore and then wanting to be the person who I think I should be, rather than who people expect me to be. That's why I wanted to do something that seemed to be impossible to achieve, and then here I am.
I actually didn't have any expectation coming into the race. My only goal was to stay alive and finish the race, and everything else, they were add-ons, really.
I think the hardest part for me was telling my mother about it, and just because she's very kind of traditional minded, and I already live a fairly unconventional life, being the only child and lived away from home. So that has already created many frictions in life between me and Mum, and also that I've went on adventures before Clipper at a smaller scale, and then every time when I break out the news to her, there had always been, why did you do this? I don't understand it. So this time it was a lot of apprehension before I broke the news to her. To my surprise, she was very supportive since the very beginning. And I think it's because she saw the passion within me, and she saw how happy I am, how alive I become when I talk about sailing. And then she literally decided to just go, well, I don't understand what you're telling me. Sounds like it's something that's quite out there, but I can see it makes you happy. So if it makes you happy, I support you. Even though I'm going to be worrying to death every single day when you're out there, I will support you. I don't think I could ever imagine it. I could ever imagine what I saw out there. I couldn't even describe it to my friends that you have to be there to see it and to have it in your memory, to be able to imagine more, really. So, yeah.
I feel proud and I feel self-assured, and I also feel the glass ceiling has been broken.
I'm only taking it one day at a time. I don't want to worry about it too much. If I come to the natural kind of a realization, as in I had my journey, and that's it, and that's fine. And then otherwise I would just keep going.
Yeah, essentially we had a fantastic start to the race, and we were super fast out the blocks, and we were making good decisions, and then one night, yeah, sadly it was a call I made, and we went too far inshore, and the wind hole came out a bit further than we were expecting as well, yeah, it cost us sort of 7 places in the end. Really tough thing to have happen, coming into your home port.
So last night we made the decision we tacked basically the wrong way rather than heading south, and then we ended up in a wind hole early hours of this morning.
You know, and it's really hard to break it to the team as well, you know, because they haven't made a mistake.
We got stuck in the wind hole, and you can see that there's not much interesting or exciting things going on, and everybody's sitting on deck and just hoping wind coming back.
It's sad. And the first time I woke up in the morning and I saw the new position report. We dropped it in a few position. It was emotional, and then I feel like because it's such a short race, we might we already knew that it's probably hard to catch up.
To put us in a nasty position. Okay, so yeah, I'm sorry for that, guys. That was completely on me. I did not get it right. You realise you've made a mistake, and it's always going to happen. You know, you make so many decisions in this job that you're never going to get them all right. But just when it's that kind of clear cut, and in the circumstances it was, going sort of first to 8 on your home port race, it was difficult, and I kind of always knew that eventually we would come off the podium. But I was just hoping we could hold on for one more race, really. Currently about 107 nautical miles now from the finish, so sort of in the closing sort of stages of the race. We're still very much in the mix. We've got a few boats all around us, so it's going to be quite a tight finish, I think. So we'll get in towards Zhuhai. Definitely expecting the sort of traffic to ramp up. The little triangles on the screen have been slowly increasing as we come in, so that's going to be a challenge. We were sort of working on positioning ourselves to catch the wind the other side of the wind hull, and then we received notice from the race office that actually, due to the tide time has come into the marina and things like that, they were going to finish the race at 8 o'clock this morning. So suddenly that changed the game completely. It was then just who could get as close to the finish as possible by 8 o'clock this morning.
2 minutes till race finish. Very intense and very exciting.
Sail! Sail! Turn!
I had to sort of remind the crew that 5th isn't bad, that it's not crashing out at all, that is an okay result, that is, sort of mid-fleet. So it was just unfortunate that it happened the way it did, and it happened coming into our home port.
I think James definitely struggled. And we knew there will be one race, we're gonna lose that glory, but it's just we didn't know gonna be our homecoming race.
Sailing back to China, for me, it was a homecoming. I see UK as my home now, but this will forever be the home that I grew up, I was born in. So it was very exciting and emotional, highly emotional. And then all of a sudden, there was a cheer from the crowd, and I heard my name, and distinctly I was like, Mom's here, and just that scream, Gaoji, that's my name in Chinese, and I was like, yeah, Mom's here. Always looking for that approval from a parent, and for her to look at me in the eye and hug me and say, I'm very, very proud of you. It was such a moment. I feel immensely proud. Proud not just for myself, but for my support network. Just the love and support my family has shown me along the way. And then seeing Mum here, that's just, it's just like a hug, a massive warm hug around me. And I think the inner child of me will always seek my mum's approval.
Good morning, everyone. Hope you've all had a good time here in Zhuhai. Big day tomorrow, start of race 9 up to Qingdao. Looking at the forecast, we're expecting it to take you between 7 and 10 days.
I'm Philip Quinn. I'm the skipper on Qingdao yacht for the 2023-2024 Clipper Round World Yacht Race. I stepped in on the boat at Early Beach in Australia. Due to other circumstances, they needed replacement, and I was chosen to replace and take the boat home, back to Portsmouth. Getting onto the team, obviously I was a little bit nervous about it because they'd already travelled such a distance and they'd had different leadership, let's say, on the boat. So it was a little bit nervous for me, a little bit apprehensive about what way it would be, but the crew had, over that period, had really gelled together really well. They would apart from the actual navigation and strategies and things like that, they could nearly sail the boat themselves. I never intended to come along and just change stuff for the sake of changing it. If it was working, which it is, I didn't see the need to start changing things just because I wanted. If it works well, if it's not broken, don't fix it.
So we're on our 4th skipper now, Phil, who's awesome. But we've had 4 very different, very great skippers.
First race from Early Beach to Halong Bay, we managed to win it, pulled off a win. For quite a distance, we were miles out the front, but yeah, managed to pull off that win. It's a first win and first podium for the team. They were quite adamant that they wanted a good finish. Up to that, they hadn't had any podiums, so they were really pushing for that. So yeah, that's what we pushed for, and happened to be the top of the podium, which was good.
It's a great feeling because we worked really hard for that one. Everyone put 100% in, but it's kind of, I feel like it's a bit of an accumulation of having all the experience from all the different skippers that we've had. I think we've been really lucky for that. We're now taking things we've learnt from all of them on and passing them on to the next crew and the next skippers.
At the minute we're lying 8th overall, so we're going to leave Zhuhai heading to Qingdao, our home port. That obviously means a lot to the crew. It means a lot to me because I'm representing the city of Qingdao, and it means a lot to be able to come in, and it would be nice to be able to do well in that race. I think it does come with pressure. I mean, you want to perform. You want to perform not just for yourself and for the crew, but you want to perform for the host partner. It would be good for them, be good for us. It would be really nice to do well. I mean, a win would be unbelievable into your home port. It would be so good, but we'll do as good as we can do, and we'll push it as hard as we can to try and make that happen.
Excited. We've had a bit of a brief yesterday, and yeah, we're excited to be leaving, excited to be going.
We're off to Qingdao. This is our big one.
I mean, we've been Qingdao. We've just been behind Qingdao the whole way. And it'll be really interesting to finally get to the city that's been supporting us, that we've been racing for this whole time. Yeah, no, it's going to be very exciting. I know our ambassador Zach's very, very excited to come home. We could see how excited he was coming into Zhuhai, coming back to China. So I know it'll mean a huge amount to him.
什么江湖再见，青岛见，行了，都上青岛去。We are leaving Zhuhai. I'm waving to the volunteer, thankful for their contribution in the last few days. And I'm going home. This boat is going home. Let's go.
My name is Wang Ziqi, and I'm ambassador on CV27, which is Qingdao, a boat named after my hometown. So I think as an ambassador, I do represent my city. From Zhuhai to Qingdao, this is the most important race for me in the whole race, because I'm going to the home port, I get my own responsibility, and I want to encourage more people in Qingdao, in China, or even, in Zhuhai to join this super cool sport.
Zach's quite a lively guy, he's very keen. We've actually made him watch leader. For this, well, we moved him to watch leader for the last race as a sort of trial, let's say, and he has performed as we would want, so he's staying on, so he will, as an ambassador, get to sail into his home port as a watch leader. Certainly for him, without a doubt, it must be, it will be a proud moment for him, without doubt, because not everybody gets to do that.
I need to be humble, but I just get promoted to be the watch leader on my boat, starting from last race, from Halong Bay coming into Zhuhai. I would say that was a trail, but now I'm officially the watch leader.
Can't wait, let's go.
Yeah, so we're about to do our third Le Mans start. First two went very well. We've had a little bit of practice this morning. So yeah, we're looking to do the same again, get off the line first. Start first, finish first. 2, 1, and go! A little bit.
Great Le Mans start. We pulled ahead of the rest of the fleet pretty nicely, but we're doing really well, heading towards Qingdao, home port. We're all very excited. It's a big race for us, so we want to do really well, and it's going well so far. It's been a fairly uncomfortable first couple of days. Last night was super interesting. We ended up passing an oil platform being towed by 2 tugboats. It's a bit miserable at the moment. A few people are ill. We're just on this angle and it looks like it's going to be this way for the next couple of days still. The bunks are on pulleys. So you can adjust them to each tack. So on this tack I'm having a good time because I can make my bunk nice and flat and low, like this. But on the other tack, I have to get the bunk all the way up like this, so I don't fall out. So hopefully we don't tack in the next 6 hours, otherwise I'll have to get out and change it. How did I end up here? Just finished uni. Yeah, Clipper came up and it looked like an awesome option. Traveling and it's outdoors and it's active and it's just something amazing to do.
See the light of the stars, hear the sound of the unseen.
On my mum's side, Tobias Furno is my great-great-great-grandfather. A few more greats maybe, but he sailed with Cook on his second voyage of discovery. So it was really cool coming around Tasmania actually, because there's a few islands and little bays and things named after him, which was really cool to pass by. I think it solidified my decision to do the whole round the world thing. There must be some sort of kind of certain draw to it. It's easy to say like it's in your blood or something, but I think there must be something there, some sort of thing that ticks. When I accepted the race, it's like I didn't know anything about that sort of life and what it could be, and I knew that I'm just going to have to go and experience it to know what it is. It's just one of those things. I think that's why I was attracted to it, to be honest. I'm not going to be the same person I was before I left. It's going to be completely different.
Day 5 and racing is difficult to say the least. We've had some great sailing leading up to this, and then overnight we had terrible wind holes and very, very shifty wind.
Podium, we actually lost 7 positions, unfortunately overnight. I think in 4 hours.
As we were coming around the bottom of Taiwan, we got hit by some really shoddy wind and ended up dropping to 9th position. Just the boats behind us saw we got no wind and went a different way, which was really frustrating for us at the time, just watching them breeze by.
And we're trying to get sails set to make best speed back out of this again, to try and make some ground, catch up on those that managed to get past us earlier. But he's positive. I mean, we lost some places, but we're all positive that there's a long way to go, and we know we can go faster, we know we can make it back, but we just got to do it now.
So it lost us a lot of places from first, within about a day, back to 9th place. Not very pleasant, but there's not much we could do about it. Nobody did anything wrong. I mean, there's certainly no fingers to be pointed. Yeah, so I mean, when we dropped back, morale actually stayed quite high, partly because I think we've had fight backs in the past, and we know that we can get good boat speed and we can pass boats. So although there was a bit of hurt, there was still the expectation that, you know what, there's a long way to go and we will be able to do it.
It's the last full night racing. I would say everything is still possible. We still have a boat right in the front of us, and the first place is not yet confirmed. We have a wind hole to pass through, so everything is possible. We're gonna sail really, really hard until the finish line. Go get them! Get them! Get them!
It was a hard slog then to try and make those places back, because obviously coming into our home port in Qingdao here, it's important that we do well.
We kind of looked ahead and we noticed that UNICEF were in sight, which meant second place was in sight.
A little bit of work behind the scenes probably as well, trying to put us in the right place, point us in the right direction, try and grab what, you know, any benefit we could from the weather.
If we fly a spinnaker, there's a chance that we're going to go faster and possibly just reel that lead back in and possibly make up that place that we've been fighting for days.
Bit of a faux pas. It's 20 past 9 on the very last night. We were pushing it downwind with the most sails up we could have. We had the biggest downwind sail and a full mainsail, trying to catch UNICEF for about 7 miles ahead. And our biggest sail blew up, completely shredded itself. Yeah, interesting last night. Everyone did very, very well under the situation. Got it down nice and safe and didn't lose too much ground, I don't think. So
to be able to get that fight back, and there was a lot of sail changes, a lot of work went in, just to be able to stay on top of it all.
It was a long night. We hoisted the spinnaker earlier, but it exploded. So a lot of hard working. I think we did a really good job. And finally the race is coming to the end. We should be the third place. I thought solid third place. We hit the line! We hit the finish, guys!
Come on, Jeff! Long way down high!
Qingdao! Qingdao! Qingdao!
I really try to hold that tear in my eyes. It's really hard. Well, it's finally here. It feels so unreal and really, really exciting.
So to be able to fight our way back, to be able to get that podium meant a lot. And for me personally, it meant an awful lot so that I could come in, because after all, I'm representing the people and the city. So to be able to bring home a result for them is really what we wanted.
Probably on the rigging shelf left-hand side, Joe.
Well, we're in Qingdao at the moment, so we're just prepping for the Pacific crossing over to Seattle. So at the moment, so we're just doing a lot of preventative maintenance. There's 6 of us on the maintenance team. We fly to all the ports around the world, and then once we get to port, we've got our containers with us with a workshop and a lot of spares, and we just get on and make sure they're ready for the next leg.
It's the most isolated leg on the race, so the crew will be on their own, really far away from shore or any help. So we need to make sure that all the rigs are safe.
The boats can't carry all the water they need, especially for the long legs. So each boat has a water maker like this. One is one of the life-sustaining pieces That's why we carry out extensive maintenance to these units every stopover, especially when they're doing, like, say, a 3-week crossing that's coming up on the Pacific.
So the Pacific leg is the big one for us and for the crew as well. Now we need to make as sure as we can that as little as possible is going to go wrong on the boats, which is why we do so much preventative maintenance here in Qingdao.
We are about to start the North Pacific leg. It is the longest leg on the Clipper race, 6,000 miles, and it's going to take about 30 days for us to complete. It's desolate, it's cold, it's wet, it's windy, there's big seas, there's nowhere else like it.
So we're just about to start the race 10 from Qingdao, China to Seattle in the USA. It's the longest race of the whole circumnavigation, the North Pacific, so I think it's the one people are most anxious to.
There's going to be a lot of nervousness and anxiety surrounding things naturally on all faces, okay? We got lots and lots of faith in you guys. Just stay really, really safe. It's a fantastic race, enjoy it as well, and look forward to seeing you in Seattle, okay?
Definitely some people sign up not only because they want to tick off this particular ocean and there's not many events that cross it, but also the challenge. It's going to push people to their limits, and that's where they want to be. They want to be outside of their comfort zone. They want to see the world at its rawest and experience that when you're a tiny little speck on an absolutely massive ocean.
One thing, guys, it's a big one, this. Look after your crews, but look after yourselves. Sail safe and fast. Good luck.
Everybody knows that this is the most challenging race of the entire lap of the planet.
It's the race everybody is talking about. It's the race that can be really, really tough. 5,900 miles is a long, long, long distance. It's a quarter of around the Earth. You are very, very far from any human population on this planet. Because if something happens, it's going to take time to get out of there.
The feeling was this is going to be a big challenge where a lot could go wrong, and if it does, it's going to be very difficult. You know, we at one point were 1,000 miles from the nearest land.
For 11 months we're sailing around the world, you start getting a little bit tired. I think now it's just over the halfway point. The pressure is there in doing well, but also just making sure you keep doing what you're doing now until the end and just get everyone around safely and make sure everyone has a good experience out of it too.
So UNICEF is currently in 4th place. We are around 7 points behind 3rd, which is fantastic. But behind us, the next 3 or 4 boats are all within a point, so it is really tight racing at the moment. We are still missing our 1st place. That's the current goal. That is the team's current aim, is to get that 1st place pennant.
Yeah, so we're currently at the stopover in Qingdao, China. We just finished race 9, so we've got 5 races left, and we're currently 2nd on the leaderboard. Perseverance is 1st overall, Zhuhai is 3rd, and you have UNICEF that have come up the leaderboard really nicely now. And still being 2nd where we are now, and with the long races coming up, which we've done really well in. So we do need to keep the results going now, and I feel like if we have a bad result in the Pacific now, then we're going to be under pressure.
I know everyone's quite anxious for this one. The last, just to put in perspective, the last race they had 55 knots was the maximum they had from here to Seattle. It's like 6 to 8 meter seas. We had more in the Southern Ocean and we thought it was quite relaxed.
Yeah, we didn't have a very good start and ended up in the back of the fleet, 9th or 10th, right in that first week coming down the Yellow Sea. We struggled a bit for boat performance. We said to the crews, like, we know that if we get our performance sorted, we can catch up, we can do if we're a knot faster. We've got so much time to get back into that front group.
Yeah, the first week was not very good. So I think when we left Japan, South Japan, it was 9th or 10th or something like that, the last place or something.
In terms of the overall, I try to race my own race. I try not to let the other competitors get into my head too much. Obviously, I'm always looking and seeing what they're doing, where they're going, and trying to figure out why, and is that because they've seen something that I haven't that's potentially better. But there's times and places for sticking with people, and there's times and places for going and doing your own thing, and the challenge is recognising when they are.
It's really easy to be discouraged when you're seemingly not being able to catch up, and part of that is just that we're in slightly different weather, and what we have to remember is that this is a 5,500 mile race, so 30 miles, 40 miles isn't actually that far, especially at this stage where we're still 4,500 miles to go. So it's still a very long way. We can't give up yet. We've got to keep going, and the race isn't over till we get to the finish.
But after that we managed to get our act together. We chose the routing that was really, really well in the middle pack, so we didn't go too far south and not too far north.
Qingdao were the first boat to stay south, and initially everyone was looking at them on the tracker when we get our weather forecast, being like, what do they see? Why are they heading that way?
The rest of the fleet is still going north. They're pretty much going straight north at the moment. Their plans to try and get over the high pressure that's going to come through in a couple of days. We decided we'd try and go under it instead, so we'll see how the split works.
As the weather developed, we saw the opportunity to go that way as well, and decided to follow them, or not necessarily follow them, but try and sail down to them rather than following the rest of the group up north, because it didn't seem to make sense to us with the way the high pressures and the wind holes were developing up there. So, and it paid off really well.
The thing is, you hear about the Pacific and you sort of know, ooh, it's going to be hard, and that's what they tell you, but you don't realize that it's actually true. It's really hard. This is what happens after a couple of hours pulling sails, changing sails. But it's good to be back. Now it's breakfast, all is fine.
For me, the apron goes on. It's you're ready. It's your final barrier, I guess, or the finish of your uniform, for lack of a better word. And it just, even cooking with friends anywhere, I need to have an apron. It makes me secure. I'm Peter Ford. I come from Australia. I'm sailing on Punta del Este with a fantastic crew and skipper, Nano. I've spent my life as a chef. I trained from a very young age, left home and started an apprenticeship. And I've been doing this career for a long, long time. Now, when we apply for this, we tell people what we do. And I wrote down, I'm a caterer, chef. And but when we came to training, people said, oh, what do you do? And I said, look, I'm a furniture restorer. But I really did want to step aside and be a sailor. Luckily, all the clipper teams use a system called the Parent Watch, and different people have to take on the responsibility of cooking each day. And 2 people from each watch come on the watch, and they will cook from 7 a.m. till dinner finishes that night, last supper, and then they're off. I chose leg 3 and 6 because I thought they're going to be the most difficult, and I'll face these. I probably won't face normal sailing, so I think if I can see the worst and get through it, then I'll be ready to do my own sailing from then on. But it's been fantastic, the training, the safety aspects, the camaraderie, learning whole new skills, being locked in a 70-foot pod with people from all around the world. It makes for a fantastic international experience. After doing legs 3 in the Southern Ocean, Cape Town to Fremantle, I've returned to the fold, and the fear and the anxiety and anticipation and camaraderie, all those things. So returning to the boat with expectation more than anticipation, because I kind of know what we're going to be in for. Rejoining the boat with the Around the World has been lovely, catching up and renewing friendships. I've noticed my colleagues are tired. They've been going over 6 months. How different is it cooking on a boat? Whew, where do you start? The Clipper Galley is one of the most difficult places I have prepared a meal, I've got to say. It is, it's like putting a kitchen on a bucking bronco. Okay, tacking. Grab your gear and hang on tight. So what you do now is we change over to the other side of the bench and make sure all our stuff's secure. And we start all over again, but on another tack.
2, 4, 6, how many did you say? 7?
Eating is paramount and takes a lot of energy. We're told all through the training that you're going to be expending a lot of energy. You're going to need about 5,000 calories a day, which is a lot of food. Hungry. Food is fuel. And it doesn't matter what level cook you are, when things are tough on deck, your work is always appreciated and everyone is happy when it's mealtime.
We had quite a slow start out of Qingdao, but then we caught up really nicely throughout the whole fleet. Getting around the bottom of Japan, I think we were in 2nd, 3rd place, so really good position to be in. Then I started looking at the long-term routing. So we didn't really have a lot of the big low pressure systems which generally you have, which was quite unusual. So it was actually a lot of upwind instead of downwind. What we needed is the system below us to actually catch up to us, and then we'd have downwind sailing for several days. So we just got stuck in a really awkward place, and then things kind of went wrong for us there, and that was the big turning point of the whole race.
The closest boat to us, PSP, they're about 20 miles behind, and then everyone else is kind of 150, 200 miles ahead. Harlem Bay, the boat in first place, is 450 miles ahead of them, so they're doing really well.
It really didn't go our way. So for me as a skipper, mentally you get quite tired. I've made a wrong decision, and now it changes the whole thing. Up until Portsmouth. Even the crew are disappointed now. I've been honest with them what's happened, and they've seen how the weather's been, so they're fine with it, and we'll keep it up. I think for me there's a lot of pressure because that was, we were 120 miles ahead, and 2 days later we're 260 behind. So we lost 350 miles in 2 days, which it's a long race, but that's still a lot to catch up. That was the most difficult thing I've done, this circumnavigation. I took it really personally too, so it was really on me, and I was really sad for probably 2 days, and that was a big thing to overcome. Trying not to show how disappointed and sad I am, and the crew were too. But then it's really about keeping the crew motivated and not just having a whole meltdown the whole boat. The last few days for me has been really tough. So just got to be positive, especially for the crew now. As a leader, you got to just keep stepping it up and keeping a good thing going. The whole general experience comes in too, of crossing the North Pacific. Not a lot of people have done it. That's something you got to consider too, and just keep enjoying it. You can't get mentally, drained and tired and angry and annoyed and pissed off. You just got to keep going. And
joint find words. Yeah, so I think the early on decisions, I think we were all slightly disappointed at the time. We kind of all had a bit of a feeling that it was a bit of a, after the fact, that it was a bit of a, still all to play for. We're not giving up. We'll keep fighting till the end.
Now it's quite a learning curve for me, is realizing it's not just about the results. It's like we can't just give up now. We're at the back of the fleet, be angry and be sad. You've got to get over it and realize we're actually crossing the North Pacific. Not many people do it, so let's just enjoy that as a team, and then once you have a happy boat again and you're sailing well, that's the best you can do.
Special day for many reasons. I've woken up to this beautiful blue sunny sky, which I haven't seen for, I don't know, weeks. Feels like maybe since we left Qingdao. So that's a nice rare appearance, and that thing over there is called the sun. This afternoon we're going to cross the international dateline, whatever that means. There's a lot of confusion going on board. I think it means we're going to do the same day twice.
So, dateline, science. The sun rises and sets at different times in different places. As you go around the world, the time has to change.
When we cross the dateline, we are back the same day that we just ended, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we've got to make the shift, otherwise we're going to be out of sync with the rest of humanity.
So now we're going from the west to the east. From east to west, actually. 3, 2, 1!
The best thing about the whole experience is the people. The people that you meet. You meet some amazing people, and everybody just gets stuck in. And yeah, we have an absolutely fantastic time on our boat. We all love it.
Aloha!
People pick themselves up, people pick each other up. And I don't know how we do it, but we just kind of, it all just seems to work.
Yeah, I think it's actually going to be really hard to go home and not be doing this anymore, because it's, as I said, this is now normal life. So real normal life, when I get back to it, it's going to be actually hard to adjust back. Going home, walking through that door, it is going to feel so strange, because it's going to be a year later since I left. I don't know how I'm going to feel, but I think it will be happy, sad sort of feeling to go home.
We're really close at the moment. There's 300 miles to the finish, so 2 more nights. Hai Long Bay's actually just finished a few hours ago, so they're motoring into Seattle.
We're the southernmost group. The rest of the fleet are way up here to the north. That obviously buoyed up everyone's spirits. We'd made this kind of small gamble to go in a different direction to the main fleet rather than just trying to sail faster than them, and then suddenly we were competing with the lead boats. We went from being in the back of the fleet to competing for the podium. We went from 9th place to 3rd. We were fast again, which was nice. We found our speed.
This is what we needed.
And after me saying, don't worry guys, we'll get back, we've got time, we've got space, for what felt like forever, suddenly we have made that jump, and that was really nice as well. Now it's kind of like we're here, we've now got to hold it, it really is kind of game on.
It was a really intense race in that perspective, because we were there and we could see other boats, and then we can go forward, go ahead, and that make the extra thing when you're sailing this long distance.
We were doing the maths, and